Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Holly, and I am a channel and an awakening guide. And in this video, I want to share with you a channeling that I did with one of my friends, Julia Lieble. She is a sacred sites oracle and a tour guide facilitator in these sacred sites around the world. In this channeling together, her and I just kind of went in. We just wanted to look at whatever we could see. And what ended up coming through in this video was a lot around the physical symptoms that we experience as we expand our consciousness, or what we often call ascension. My purpose for this video is that it really helps you understand how to navigate all of the rapid changes that we're going to be going through, especially in the next coming months. You may already be feeling them. This video actually starts out with me describing some of the physical experiences that I've been having through my body and in my environment as I process these new frequencies. So thank you for tuning in. Be sure and like, share, and subscribe, and may this information bless you and serve you. I'm going to try and describe this while I feel it. Okay, it feels like shifting gears, but like you're not quite, it's not a fluid shift, if that makes sense. Julia, did I tell you that I made something fall off the wall? Did I tell you
You
about
did
this?
not.
Okay. And then I turned a light on just by moving my hand past it. So
Yay.
it was not on purpose, though. So the feeling that I'm feeling right now is reminding me of that. It's like when we switch gears at this level, I feel nauseated. It really is like going into hyperdrive. And the reason that those two things happened was because when it happened, I was having a dream. It was in the night. I was having a dream where I was talking to my higher self, and my higher self said, "You did that." And then the thing fell off the wall and it woke me up, and I ran screaming from my house. Uh Terrified. Um the reason that that happened is because I'm unifying now. And I've been working so much on this being human. It's like, ugh, it literally makes me nauseous. So what I'm experiencing right now is that like shifting gears. Hmm. And it's so funny because the laughter is sort of like it's so normal to be your higher self that it's like funny that I'm experiencing all of these things. And actually, okay, so this is going right into what's going to be happening in the next coming months because a lot of people are going to be experiencing this. It's a good reminder that that transitioning into higher and higher frequency aspects of ourselves, it does not look the way that our mind thinks that it does, especially since we're doing this in the body this time. We're doing this in and through the body. There's old teachings. Many people are still living as if these teachings are true. This is why it hasn't worked before. Living as if the teachings are true that we ascend out of the body, that we have to die in order to ascend, that the body is to be vilified, that the body's wrong, that there's something wrong with the earth and what we're doing, that anything is wrong, period. All of that is dying. That's not true anymore. That's And so as we transition into higher frequency versions of ourself, we're going to have physical, I don't want to make it a rule that we're going to have physical discomfort because that's also sort of this victim. It can translate into this victim idea, but it's going to feel like shifting gears in a car or coming up from the bottom of the ocean pretty fast. It's not because our body can't take it, it's because our mind can't take it. That's the distinction. It's not because our body can't take it, it's because our mind is so gripping on the old version of ourselves. And the laughter and the silliness is that our higher selves is so much more normal for who we are. That's why, like, I can literally feel my star family laughing right now. Like, this is so funny that you're having such a hard time right now. Hmm.
You know, it's like as I've been going through what I call an energetic upgrade the last couple of days, I also feel that yes, there is a lot mental, but it's literally also these higher frequencies coming into the body, and the cells and like different capsules in the day in the DNA cracking open to allow these higher coatings to come forward. And because the body is matter, it is also denser and slower, so it takes time. And in our day to day, we usually don't take time to integrate and to rest, or not so often. That is also another layer, I feel, why it might feel that we are being slowed down. And at the moment, and as you are like speaking what's coming through, I just feel called to energetically place different sacred geometric symbols into yeah into that transmission for whomever would like to receive them.
Mm. Do you remember in the Boulder, when we were in Boulder, the channeling where it came through that it's about the dilation of the light entering the cells and how
Mm,
that's
mm-hmm,
similar to the pain is pleasure that we experience
mm,
through our own, sexual pleasure and things like that? That the light entering cells is similar to the masculine penetration of the feminine. And that as we open to this light, we can translate these openings, these opening experiences as discomfort. And as we translate, at times our mental reaction to that discomfort creates a war-like sensation. Now, this war can be inside ourselves, where we can be at war with what's happening and create resistance. And the extension and the example that came through in that channeling was if humanity receiving this light individually creates a collective that responds in a warlike way, visitation will only occur on higher dimensional planes or will more readily occur within those higher dimensional planes, meaning it will be less of a physical visitation for the majority of the collective. Now, some will still receive the physical visitation, but others will not, because the light coming in will create a feeling of fear and warlike responses and more destruction. And so it's interesting, that's what's coming up again when you share that, when you talk about that. So within our own bodies, it's not even the body. It just keeps coming through. It's not the body. It's the mind. It's the mind. It's the mental translation. The body is going to experience it's actually joyful. So whenever I look at solar flares, it just to me looks like the sun is dancing. And those solar flares hitting the earth, it looks like the earth is dancing in receiving. It's very masculine and feminine. This masculine and feminine polarization of the experience of that dance is projection and receptivity. And we, in our physical form, are the earth. And so if we can receive the light with dancing and play, that will make us more receptive. It's the translation again, to look at it, it's the mind, and the mind saying things should be certain ways. This is just not going to be experienced the way that the mind thinks it will. And the good news is that we are going to be up leveling so much in the next 3 months, October, November, December. Man, we are going to be just met with so much light frequencies, so many higher frequencies, that even if we have resistance from a mental place, which is really, it's the only place that can create resistance, because our mind is the only thing that believes in time. The mind is essentially creating the physical dimension. The mind is creating the physical dimension, the way that we see it, the way that we experience it, because even within the physical dimension is all things. It's just being, it's the filtration system. The mind is just the filtration system, and we set it to different parameters. And so we interpret things in specific ways based on the parameters of what we've decided we want to experience in human form. So, that being said, no matter what level of resistance we have, we're going to be up leveling, because at a certain point, it is the natural attunement to the frequencies that we are. Man, and of course we can resist. We can resist forever. But that switch will sort of turn off. We won't want to. Even if our mind wants to, there will come a point where it's sort of like our higher aspects will just feel so good. They'll feel familiar. Now the mind will say, this is weird, this is odd, this is unfamiliar, this is danger. And that goes for all of us. That goes for all of us, no matter how deeply attuned we are, our minds are going to try and fight this. When we see starships, when we see, there's so many examples of this, when we see our star family in what we call physical form, and I'm going to go into that in just a moment. When we see them in what we call their physical form, our minds are going to sort of, it's like a cartoon. We're going to be like, "Ugh," like, I don't get it. Wait, I'm seeing it, but I'm not really seeing it. What is that? I almost cannot get my mind to get on board with it. That's going to be very normal, a normal response. Not that everyone's going to have that. Some people are going to feel very normal seeing them. I don't even feel at this moment that I'm one of those people. I still go, "Ugh, what am I seeing?" Because I have worked on being human. I like being human. I like seeing from the human perspective. So, seeing in what we call physical form is going to catch our minds off guard. But there will come a point, and this is happening very rapidly, there will come a point where what we call seeing them physically is going to feel more natural, just like us becoming our higher selves will just feel normal and natural. And oh, thank God, now I'm here. Oh, this is good. This is me. And stepping into that, there's so much mastery coming within people. And this has been something that I've been talking about for a while. A lot of people have been talking about this six-dimensional consciousness. And I will say, or whatever you want to call it, because people are interpreting it differently. Those games will be readily available. Telekinesis, teleportation, bilocation, which is actually, there are other terms that are coming through about that. But those sorts of skills where we are less focused within these previous parameters of what we believe to be physical, those are going to be opening up. What it means to ascend in the body is that we are still going to be very aware of our human form. We'll be aware of this layer of density. We'll be aware of duality. We'll be aware of all of the things that have come with these more dense experiences. And we will be thoroughly multidimensional, meaning that we get to choose what layer within the multidimensional experience we place our focus. And this is going to be feeling much more normal, and where we are going to place the majority of our focus and our consciousness is going to be within higher dimensional landscapes than what we currently exist in. And we will not be denying the body. When we exist in those higher dimensional landscapes, we will have so much love for the density realms that we've been playing in. And this includes, and this is a good way to understand, because the mind is going to want to ask. I can hear the questions almost right now. Am I there? Am I there? Am I in it? Do you love everything? Do you love everything in existence? Even what you currently see as conflict, even who you currently see as warlike or conflicting or creating all these problems? Do you love everything? Then your consciousness is in that higher dimensional plane. And it's not something that we need to mentally strive for. We actually just relax into it. We allow into it. We surrender into it because it is who we are. So when these glimmers come up of not being that, we relax. We reach out to friends. We ask to be held in the space of knowing who we are. We allow ourselves to be the witness of who we truly are. I feel like that transmission was a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear what you what you're feeling and seeing about this, Julia.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Maybe reverse engineering it a little bit
Mm,
from what you just recently shared. Um, what keeps on coming up is different, like I see different holographic time spirals in different colors, almost like multicolors that are spiraling and winding, almost kind of like a DNA. And when you spoke about like being in the higher planes, the question that popped up was like, okay, but then um, how do we bend time, or how does um, time, because it almost felt like there was a gap in these higher realms versus slower time movements in the more denser realms. And almost in the same instant that this
mm.
question popped up, the answer also popped up. And then you said, do you love all? Do you love everything? And it's literally this being receptive and allowing all the layers of, and all the, yeah, it's the all the layers. I sometimes call it like the 7 layers of becoming,
Mm.
of the human existence, when all of them are aligned and when all of them are completely open, meaning there is no resistance to anything whatsoever, there is a full acceptance. That's when we truly step into yeah, the fully embodied timeline, so to say, and it goes like all the way through.
Yes,
um
yes.
there is, I don't know, there is a sentence that comes, it's like that's when the serpent awakens,
Mm.
whatever that means. um and then going back to what you said earlier with the pain, I feel that there is a lot of people who or everybody who has experienced extensive pain, or maybe even women in childbirth who have felt that ecstasy and the most excruciating pain are so close to one another. And what I'm seeing is this combustion of light, this explosion or implosion of light. And it doesn't even matter, because it's that toroidal field and we can access it from both sides. So we expand, we expand, we expand, and ultimately it collapses, or we descend, 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 and ultimately it flips and we expand again. And it's, well, funny enough, the visual that I'm getting is the perineum. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like, creating oneself over and over again. And so again, just like reiterating the receptivity that you spoke about, whenever we have these moments when we are in insane pain, all that is left is really surrender and like become one with it and melt into it. And ultimately, that is also when we can experience that flow state or becoming one with the all.
Mm, that's beautiful. Thank you. One of the things that's come up that I've had a hard time sharing publicly, because I know how hard it is to grasp, is that there is a lot of othering of who's causing problems. This idea that if we could just get certain people out of power, we'd be fine. This idea that if we would just be saved by something else, we'd be fine. You are that person in power. You are the something else. You are all of it. When we come into this knowing of ourselves on this higher plane, we once again rejoin with all aspects of the self. There is no other. There is no other. There is no one else. And that deep teaching is an extension of what you were just talking about, which is unifying the polarities. If I believe there is bad and I fight against the bad, I'm missing the point. It's to hold all states at once, or to make it a little more clear, to hold both ends of the dualistic spectrum at once as true and perfect. And we don't, the mental idea of perfection doesn't need to be there. To hold both states at once, to just be both states at once, has the effect of unifying and creating that consciousness of, oh, I remember who I am. I'm all of it. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. And that is the point of loving all. That is the point that we reach, that opens us to, I love everything. I love all. I am in love with this entire creation. Now, that being said, we do get to choose what we focus on. There are a lot of people who believe, and this is a product of living in this dense realm. So there's nothing wrong with this belief. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with anything. But one of the products of really believing in the illusion of this realm is believing in the duality and believing in separation at this strong level, that there needs to be something outside of ourselves that changes. Go ahead.
I'm just laughing because, like the visual that I'm getting is, yeah, the souls like jumping out of that cosmic soup that is one, wanting to experience themselves as individuals, and then looking in the mirror, and then again, like, you get to choose. It's kind of like that story with the happy dog, like running around looking in the mirror, and it meets that other dog in the mirror, and
It's like,
it's and, no, and it smiles, and it's like, yeah, joyful. And then there is the angry dog running around and meeting itself in the mirror, and it starts barking
yes.
and getting even more angry.
Mm.
um
That's such a good example. That's such a good example. The people who meet themselves in the mirror and see a happy dog are the ones who are really consciously existing in those frequencies of love, joy, unity, and receptiveness to the frequencies of being more met with our star family. And those who meet the dog in the mirror that's angry, using that example, are going to be really paying attention to things that need to change on the physical plane in order for any of this to be possible. It's funny. I was going to try and attune myself to the political landscape and what's happening as the matrix dissolves that layer, or um, as a lot of breaking down is happening to reform, is more accurate to say. And I almost can't see it from where I am now. So this is
Mm.
a great example because I'm sure when I open my eyes, I'll definitely be able to see it. I've been seeing it.
Mm.
But in the state of consciousness that I'm in, it doesn't exist. I am in the frequency of everything's so easy, everything's light. I'm so excited. We're entering the Garden of Eden. We're in the Garden of Eden. This is it. It's light. It's beautiful. It's the same as it was with my eyes open, and yet it is brighter everywhere. It is brighter everywhere. And everything actually makes sense because nothing's in opposition to itself. If we're looking for things to make sense, it's because there's something within us that's in opposition to what we're trying to make sense of. There's a belief of separation.
And I almost want to encourage everybody who is listening to that, when you are in that state and then you are coming back, to not fall into the trajectory of like, oh, it doesn't exist on this plane, but actually be the one who makes it exist
Mhm.
or see in which ways it exists. It's just like I'm being transported back into this beautiful room, Allison, that I shared with you when I was in the Meow Wolf in Denver, where
Mhm.
they had this light show on. And it was such a cool interactive experience
Mm.
where, with sound and light, and you being in it would direct the light in the environment that was coming up. So that was a beautiful forest, and you would spread your arms, and there was light spread these into this greenery, and there were mushrooms and all kinds of beautiful
Mhm.
flowers blooming and coming up. And I started crying because I, like, my full body was like, wow, this is how reality actually works. It's just that we have to attune ourselves to that frequency in this realm, in this dimension, in, like, on the earth, in order for this magic to actually happen and like be true. So if you believe in unicorns, they do exist. You can see them, you can feel them, rather than going for, oh, like I'm escaping into another dimension because here it's not possible.
I love that. I love this idea. You're presenting a really good point that a lot of times there is this feeling of escaping because the earth is so bad, and that's missing the point. Okay, so I'm going to ask the question directly, although it's been coming through this whole time. What are some steps that people can take, or things that feel very tangible, for people who are excited to meet their star family in more of a physical experience, to welcome them? What are some ways that we can prepare for that within ourselves? Okay, a whole pocket of information just came through, right? It's like download. And
It's
it
like, are you
has,
ready?
yeah. They're like, I'm
Drrrr.
like Matrix. Woo, okay. I got it. I know Taekwondo now. Okay, so it's really interesting that we are so conditioned, not by anything bad, but we are so conditioned as part of the human experience to believe in our densest form that when we come into our higher self state, we often feel unsafe. And so, actually, the preparation is in attuning to your higher self state, knowing that it's what's normal for you. It's the most normal thing. And recognizing that you've experienced a lot of maybe even lifetimes of conditioning, of feeling that you are limited, of feeling that you are human. So, having that grace and that compassion with ourselves as these fears come up that we can't do it, that we'll miss it, that we won't be it. And a big part of that on the physical level, the real tangible work is in anchoring safety in the body. Anchoring safety in the body. Wow, that just, as I say it, that feels incredible. So, what are some ways that people can anchor safety in the body? I love this answer. Hugs, hugs,
Hmm.
hugs. And this can be
Yay.
self hugs, right? Oh, so simple. It's so simple. I love that. It makes me laugh that the guidance for how to welcome in our star family is to hug ourselves. Like, how beautiful is that? How good is that?
Hug your higher self.
Yes, yes. Hug yourself. Hug yourself. Hug others, right? Because hugs are so regulating for the nervous system, for the human system. So hugs. I'm also seeing sound and light. Those are beautiful therapies. Sound therapies, light therapies that attune you to that calm frequency. Now, that being said, remember that our phones emit a light frequency. They emit a sound frequency. Our media emits light and sound. If you are someone who recognizes how powerful light and sound is, witness what you're taking in.
Hmm.
Witness what you're taking in. Are you attuning to light and sound that is scrambling your system? Or are you attuning to light and sound that is of your divine frequency? So it's not just sound baths and laying in a red and blue light bed. It is, what media are you experiencing? What conversations are you having with your friends? How much sunshine are you getting? Are you only exposed to the, fluorescent lighting of a store,
Yeah.
the lighting of your own home? Light and sound will instantly attune the body and the mind to the corresponding frequencies. Even by placing your awareness more on the light and sound emissions than on simply the illusion or the mesmerization of media, break it down into what light is this sending me? What sound is this sending me? Those will be really powerful tools. And bonus, if you can give yourself sunshine, even if it's cold outside, the sun does come up. Sunshine and sound frequencies, and you can move sound frequencies through your own body. You don't even
Hmm.
need a phone, a television. You don't need any of that. You don't even need a sound bath near you. Allow
You have a
yourself to
voice.
attune. Pardon?
You have a voice.
You have a voice. Let it come through. Your own voice has the, we'll call it light codes to attune, perfectly attune your own frequency, your own body.
Thing that comes to me is water,
Yeah,
and
right as my,
specifically like local sources of water.
yes, reconnecting to the fact that we are earth, that we are earth, and how beautifully spiritual that is, that we as humans have this sacred marriage between spirit and earth, and that is how our bodies are animated.
I just feel like I would love to circle back and to see if it still feels alive now that, you know, we feel safer in our bodies. How would it be to make physical contact? Because there was a point where you said that I'm going to go into that, and we haven't really touched
Mm.
on that. So I'm just like
Ah,
wondering if that is a good segue to circle back to that.
what was actually coming up there is about this idea of our star family in what we call physical form. Sometimes we think of dimensions as we interpret it in a very physical way. We think this dimension, this dimension, this dimension. And indeed, from our physical standpoint, it does actually feel like I'm here, whew, now I'm here, whew, now I'm here. It does feel as if there's that layer separation. Our consciousness is essentially our ability to move amongst dimensions, all dimensions. Our consciousness exists through all of it. And at a certain level of consciousness, we rejoin with the ultimate consciousness, which is one consciousness. And again, there's so much more to it than this moment of explaining. That being said, there is a consciousness shift that creates the ability to see physical beings that do not look like humans. The physical form will still be invisible to us unless we have a consciousness shift, which is essentially a dimensional shift. So, although they will be taking a more dense projection of themselves, we will not be able to see them unless our consciousness has shifted. Meaning, it's sort of like, you know, somebody, I love this. It was Jesse. Somebody left a comment about this video. This absolutely perfectly shares what I'm talking about here. There's a video where a lot of people watch it in middle school or high school, and it's all about our ability to tune most of reality out. And it's people passing a basketball. It's a video of people passing a basketball. And the goal is watch how many times, see if you can count how many times the basketball is passed. So you watch the video, you count 13 or something like that. Cool. Did anyone see the gorilla walking through? No. And it's in
Yeah.
physical form. It's in physical form. We have a consciousness shift. And so the video, when you rewatch it, and it's so funny, it was the best example. Thank you for that, Jesse. When you rewatch the video, you're like, there's a giant person in a gorilla costume walking very slowly in the middle of all these people. And it's the most obvious thing that you could ever think to see. It's that example. Unless we have a consciousness shift, we will be blind to it. And
Mm,
let me bring up another point. Disclosure has already happened.
mm,
It has happened.
mm.
It can happen more. But look at how many people still believe that ETs don't exist. I call them star family. How many people think it's all the most ridiculous thing that we could even talk about? Governmental officials have literally come forward and said, we have bodies. There are multiple different species. How are we missing this? We're missing it because our consciousness needs to shift. So there's this real desire to see in physical form. Play with this idea. What if you've already seen them?
Yeah.
How can you see what is already there? Play with this idea that you are the carrier of the codes already. Play with this idea that you are that which you're looking for. Even that concept. We think, oh no, we're looking for our star family. I want to see, you know, fill in the blank, physical representation. Why do you want to see that? The desire comes from the knowing that you're part of that. Maybe you're a star seed. Maybe you are an echo. Maybe you're seeing an echo of yourself in a different dimensional space or a different form. Let these ideas start to open up your consciousness. Witness that maybe you're looking for something that, one, maybe it's already showing itself to you and you can relax your mind and allow yourself to see it. And two, maybe you are that and you're not seeing yourself. Maybe you are blind to what is right within you or in front of you. The beautiful thing is, and a lot of people will hear that and use it as ammo against themselves. Oh, I'm not seeing it because I'm doing something wrong. That's also not the point. So here's something that's more loving for those of you who are maybe going that direction. Go more into the direction of you are it. The desire only comes up if it is true. And this is where these manifestation teachings, conscious creation teachings, law of assumption, all of this, law of attraction, all of this starts to play into. Those are teachings from witnessing life on a higher dimensional experiential plane. Those are the rules of the game from those dimensions that we are moving our consciousness into. And so they apply. You are that which you seek, which means anytime you have a desire, that desire is because it's already living in you. You would not be able to have a desire that could not be met because it is already met in you. The desire is the fulfillment. And so let's bring this into something more tangible. You only have that desire because that what you seek is seeking you. That desire
Mm.
is you and it is coming to you for that fact. And all you need to do is allow yourself to relax and receive it, which sort of brings us full circle for this whole experience. And trust. There's this really strong message coming through of trust. It will not miss you. It will not miss you. It's so exciting. Allow yourself to be excited about it. Get excited even about the things that you call small signs. Get excited about the visitation that you experience outside of the densest layer of what we call physical. If you're having dreams, even if you have a desire, that is a sign that it's coming to, it has already come to you. It would be similar to having a dream. It's that layer of reality. You are actually experiencing it with the desire. So it won't miss you. Being able to receive it is to know that you already are that. There will be ships visible to people who have zero interest in seeing ships and zero belief in ships. There will be visitations to people who previously had not been paying attention to any of this at all. We each have within ourselves a divine timing. It's sort of like a turning of the kaleidoscope, and everything clicks into place at the perfect aligned frequency timing for each person. Those of you who have been through an awakening, did you mark it on the calendar when that was going to happen? No. Because you didn't have the consciousness within the plane of existence that would allow you to see it. But it happened anyway. It happened anyway. This is happening. This is happening. And if you're excited about it, and if you're anticipating it, and you want it, it's already living within your heart. And so allow it. And just know it won't miss you. We won't recognize ourselves, especially those of us who are really loving this and allowing it in. We won't recognize ourselves in the next 3 months. It's so fast. We won't recognize the people that are standing next to us. Be prepared for such huge shifts and massive awakenings within so many people. And yes, be prepared for that not to be what you see on the densest layers of physicality. That layer is going to look real crazy, but we are attuned to a different place.
The timeline that I'm seeing is, and you were also speaking about the next 3 months, so December and this Sagittarius season with, being close to the galactic center, which to me is the closest point that we can get to a source consciousness, where I
Mm.
also always feel that in this golden gate, it's a lot of these consciousness codes that are streaming towards us, whether we choose to operate with them consciously or not, but they are. And so, yeah, for whoever feels called to go deeper, I'm taking a group to Egypt December 11th to 18th, which also for me has always been a very deep portal of connecting with soul codes and also the light body specifically, and all of these ancient body technology that you were tuning into and speaking into earlier. So whoever feels called to join us, yeah, reach out to me. I'm happy to go together. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I'll absolutely share that. I'm sure there are many people who will feel that December is their time for activation.
Yay,
It's
baby.
just, woo,
It's go time.
go time. Go time. It's so fun. It's so fun. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. All right.